Thank you for the opportunity to testify on our efforts to restore democracy in Venezuela.
Don't listen to war criminals.
Hold on.
Elliott Abrams supported genocide in Iraq. Elliott Abrams is going to send weapons to Venezuelan right-wing factions to cause a genocide like he did in Guatemala and El Salvador. Join Code Pink and answer coalition. No to Venezuela!
Okay. The chair will remind all persons in the audience that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of proceedings is in violation of the rules of the House and its committees. Mr. Abrams, I apologize. Please continue.
Venezuela is at a crossroads. Over the past month, we've witnessed a massive outpouring of hope and courage and tenacity by the Venezuelan people. We saw it again yesterday, as they have taken to the streets to protest a regime that has brought them nothing but poverty and misery and repression. They have placed their hopes in a young, dynamic, and legitimate leader, Juan Guaido, to lead them through a transition to democracy. And we join the Venezuelan people in this effort. Under the Maduro regime, the situation inside Venezuela will only get worse. Venezuela has become the most violent country in the world. Hyperinflation is spiraling out of control and will reach 1,000,000% or more. There's widespread hunger. Communicable diseases that are easily preventable are resurging once again.
May I remind the chair will remind all persons in the audience, if we have to clear the hearing of spectators, we'll do it. Okay, I want to again say the chair will remind everyone that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of proceedings is in violation of the rules of the House and its committees. If this continues, we'll have to just clear out the hearing room of people who are here. It's unfortunate, but apparently there are some people who only believe they're the only ones who should be heard. Last time I looked, we were a democracy, and everyone has the right to be heard. So please continue, Mr. Abrams.
And oil production has fallen from 3 million barrels a day to about 1 million. Probably will go down to about 500,000 by the end of the year. More than 3.5 million Venezuelans, as you have said, Mr. Chairman and Mr. McCall, have been forced to flee their country and spread throughout the region in search of food and medicine and work and protection. The light in all this darkness is Venezuela's National Assembly, the last democratic institution in Venezuela. Interim President Juan Guaido has provided new hope to those who want to return to a free and democratic Venezuela. Through his efforts, we look forward to a democratic and multi-party transition, an economic recovery that benefits all, and competitive, free, and fair presidential elections truly representative of the will of the people. We have always recognized that the solution to Venezuela's political and economic crisis must be led and achieved by the Venezuelan people. The U.S. government role is to support that effort. And as we meet today, Mr. Chairman, the State Department and its interagency partners are hard at work responding to Interim President Guaido's call for international humanitarian assistance. We invite international partners to join us in helping to fill warehouses and assistance centers with basic supplies the Venezuelan people so desperately need. We also continue our implementation of over $140 million in existing programming to address the regional humanitarian crisis. As you've said, Maduro and his cronies are conspiring to prevent this life-saving assistance from reaching the Venezuelan people. But, of course, those at the top of the regime are well-fed. They impose misery on the Venezuelan people, but they do not share it. The United States has effectively levied individual and sectoral sanctions on the Maduro regime. We have exponentially increased the cost of doing business for the regime in the gold sector, the financial sector, now in the oil sector, the combination of which has created enormous pressure on Maduro and his band of thieves. We've frozen bank accounts. We have revoked visas of those who benefit from their corruption and complicity. And this is not a U.S. effort alone. It's now more than 50 democracies in this hemisphere and around the world. The Venezuelan desire for freedom has galvanized a global effort on behalf of interim President Guaido. As a result of this growing pressure, there is a storm brewing inside the Maduro regime that will eventually bring it to an end. While it is impossible to predict the moment this will happen, we believe the current political and economic environment is unsustainable and that he will not be able to weather it much longer. For those remaining supporters of the regime, we have one simple message. Your time is up. A new, free, and prosperous Venezuela will rise, and your fellow citizens will remember who stood by them in their struggle. This includes especially the armed forces who will be needed in the future to build a secure Venezuela where law and order defeat criminality and violence. Now is the time for the armed forces to support the Venezuelan people and reclaim their own legitimacy. Over the next weeks and months, we will continue our pressure against Maduro and his inner circle. Last week, I announced visa restrictions and revocations on members of the illegitimate Constituent Assembly. Today, we can add, we have imposed visa restrictions and revoked visas on members of the TSJ, the illegitimate Supreme Court. But we will also provide off-ramps to those who will do what is right for the Venezuelan people. We'll support Venezuela's interim president, the National Assembly, the new government, and its aspirations to create a new Venezuela. We'll continue pressing our humanitarian assistance delivery with the help of regional partners and the international community. And we are hopeful and confident that the Venezuelan people will succeed in their quest for liberty. And when they do achieve this monumental goal, it will show despots and dictators not only in our hemisphere, but in the rest of the world, that the will of the people for freedom will prevail over those who try to suppress it. Mr. Chairman, thank you for inviting me here today, and thank you for the continuing interest and support that this committee has shown, bipartisan interest, in supporting the struggle for freedom in Venezuela.
You are